about the Mandalorian. You wanted to record for this? I'm, I don't know. I'm right now. Like I wasn't expecting to get in this far into it. But what I like about the Mandalorian is how it highlights the Force's ability to lead people in all walks of life. I feel like in a way the Mandalorian himself, the main character, follows the Force without recognizing it as the Force.
Whoa.
You know what I'm saying? Like how you don't necessarily have to live like a Jedi in order to be guided by the Force.
Every everybody is guided by the Force. The Jedi's are just self-aware
Mm.
of the presence of the Force. You see, the Force allows a person to understand their position within the universe. You feel me? Their position within their story. That's why everyone has a different, connection with the Force. And as long as they stay in their lane, you feel me? Stay in their lane and don't come outside of it. The Force. You feel me? Their position within the Force is a praise.
So you're saying that everybody has a different relationship with the Force because everybody has their own levels of self-awareness.
But if you value your position within the Force, you become more powerful within the Force. That's why Obi-Wan Kenobi at the beginning of episode 4, 5, and 6, you feel me, was untouched and unfound for all those fucking years. You feel me? He proved that in Rebels when he defeated Maul.
To tie that back into the original topic, yeah.
That's pretty crazy right there.
How would you say that uh Maul's relationship to the Force relates to Obi-Wan's?
Well, one thing I want to say about Maul first, as a Sith, he's the Lord of Perseverance. We have to give him that accolade. And we have to give Maul that accolade because everything
That's
about
fair.
his character development, in the comics, in the Legends comics, when dealing with Sidious, he had to persevere over those challenges. But you see, the downfall of the Sith is they define them. The Sith are a little bit different from the Jedi. Instead of becoming self-aware of the story that they in, they focus completely on character development.
Mm.
And because of this, they are ultimately their own downfall because they define themselves over the trials and tribulations, the lessons that they have overcome within the past. Maul was living in the past the whole time. He couldn't let Obi-Wan go.
For that, I would say, not to pose this question,
Go ahead.
Maul, if we consider Maul the Lord of Perseverance,
Yes, sir.
I would say that his critical character downfall within the Force is dogma.
Oh shit.
And in that sense, what do you think Obi-Wan's critical character failing would be when it comes to the Force?
I don't.
Because
Go ahead.
I, I don't mean to cut you off.
No.
I'm just trying to. What do you think Obi-Wan represents within the Force?
He's the master of subversion.
Subversion.
He proved it. He how many times does he have to prove the same? He's Jedi the fucking Jedi. Number one, he doesn't deviate. But from in the Phantom Menace, right? From the Phantom Menace, he single-handedly overcame Maul because Maul became too overconfident, like all Sith do. They're basically the villains, and because of this, he was able to subvert Maul's, you feel me, ability in thinking you feel me, he could beat him by channeling the Force. He appraised his position within the Force and was able to overcome Maul. Then we have in was it the third movie when he went against Grievous. Episode 3, he went against Grievous and was able to beat him hands down. Wanna know why? Because instead of him sticking to the Jedi are supposed to be flexible, even though they was defeated by their own dogma. He winded up beating Grievous by picking up a blaster. He subverted Grievous's expectation. And how did he beat Anakin Skywalker, the Force's chosen one, the person who the story is about? Anakin became a lesson.
He did.
That's
He did.
part. That's part. He didn't underestimate Anakin's ability,
Mhm.
and
Even though Anakin believed. See that's where the subversion comes in because Anakin definitely believed that Obi-Wan was underestimating him his entire life.
he says it. He said
You underestimate my power, right? That's crazy.
he
Like,
defeated himself.
and you are so right about being the Lord of Subversion.
How many times? And then Maul in Rebels, you see Rebels. So you see now Maul isn't even the main character of the story anymore. So what he had to do, he had to become the main character of somebody else's story just to have relevance in the main timeline. His position within the Force, canonically, you feel me, was lessened.
Mm. So what do you think would be Obi-Wan's character failing within the Force? I'm gonna let you say it, and I'm gonna let you know what I think it is.
Um, you, I, I want to defer to you. You go ahead, because
Okay.
he does have a felon.
Feel like it's in action.
That's good.
You know what I'm saying? The ability to take action, but allowing opportunities to pass.
Can I say something?
Go ahead.
So he was on some Avatar Roku shit.
Yeah, yeah. My God, we need to get in there. Definitely in some Avatar Roku.
Nah, oh my God, bro. Motherfucking Roku. He had so much opportunities.
Presented to him where he just let it
Where
slide.
he just like, Sozen, you show me your piece of shit. Sozen, please don't show me your ass. Sozen, for the sake of our friendship, but he allowed his relationship as, you feel me,
His friend.
his friend to overtake his judgment as a avatar. And if I really want to be very penal on Roku, we could really say he chose the Fire Nation because he didn't do his duty as an avatar. Now think about this. Now in Aang's lifetime, you feel me? His next lifetime, was put again. He was given the position to continue on his his spiritual practices as the avatar, or his as an airbender against his duties as a avatar.
So okay,
Ooh,
in that sense, do you feel like now stop me if I'm wrong here.
go ahead.
Do you feel like if Avatar Roku could be paralleled with Obi-Wan,
Yes.
do you feel like that makes Sozin Anakin?
Does that make sense in Anakin? Hold on.
He thought he was the one.
Oh,
He thought he was the one.
but
He got a big head.
hold on. Avatar. Okay, so this is very interesting that you even said that. He couldn't be interpreted that, but the Avatar in his universe is always going to be the one. It just so happens the one takes on different incarnations of form.
Okay. That being said,
So
I've heard theories
go ahead.
that Anakin really wasn't the one. He believed he would be the one because of the prophecy that it would be a Skywalker, but he had his son Luke. I believe that Luke was possibly the one.
I mean, hold on.
Therefore, would that not make Luke Avatar Aang?
The son of the one is the successor. He's the son. Wait, the son of the one is the successor. The
To the
son
legacy.
of the one is the successor. Luke was Anakin's second coming.
Mm.
You feel me? Where the father comes up short, you feel me? The son shall rise. That's a part of the reason why he is the concept, the son, SON or SUN.
Okay.
Because where Anakin fell, his son should rise. But even in the Ennead, you feel me? The Egyptians, the Egyptian cosmology of shit, it's basically the story of Star Wars retold. Now, there's different
Well,
interpretations.
Star Wars is the retelling of the Indian.
Yeah, it is. It is essentially, if you don't know anything, and it's the Lion King as well.
Isn't okay? That being said, isn't every story a retelling of the same story in a sense.
You're talking about the hero of the thousand faces right now, right?
Exactly.
Yeah, but how we and this is the great thing about the self-aware mind is or the force um is once you become aware of the universe, the nature of the human mind, once you become aware of it, you're able to subvert the nature,
Mm,
and this is part of the tricky, the trickiness of the self-aware human mind, you know, and the Sith in Star Wars believe that they can overcome it, while the Jedi in Star Wars respect it. He's like, you feel me? The Sith is like, I am, and the Jedi is like, the story is about.
uh, that being said, do you think everybody's a hero of their own story,
Every,
especially within the context within the context of Star Wars and possibly Avatar? Is everyone a hero of their own story in these?
everyone can be the hero of their own story until we start competing.
Mm,
Are we working together to build each other? Because the Sith, like, they take everything personally.
hmm
Now, what did we learn from Aaron Yeager within his position? You feel me? He had a great amount of compassion, even though he understood, we're going to quote unquote, his position within the Force.
mm,
And he had a very heavy karmic weight. He had a very heavy karmic weight. But what did he do? What did he do? He respected the position that he had. That's it.
played his role.
He played his role, but not only that, he didn't try to take any enjoyment within it. He was just walking the position that was given to him. Whereas any Sith or any
Does not
uh
really. I mean, they
they're villains of villains.
they're different villains. Yeah, they know they know they're villains and they accept that. So
Because they feel like the they feel like it's their mantle, their right. You feel me? Because of their position, that every Sith is a valedictorian. Every Sith is automatically gifted with a strong position within the Force.
within the Force, yeah, for sure.
Only because of what happened to, and I would like to relate this because of what happened to the Sith purebloods.
Mm,
It was Jedi, you feel me, that came from the world of Tython to Korriban and subjugated, you feel me, the Sith, you feel me, subjugated and what you call it, overcame, you feel me, overcame the Sith.
mm.
Okay, so you have these, tribal people. They was already naturally, you feel me, gifted within the Force, but they was tamed by, you feel me, the Dark Jedi. So automatically, who?
That being said, what is this I hear
Okay.
about the Sith really being the original followers of the Force?
Because what it comes down to that is because they had a very strong, the natural Sith purebloods had a strong connection to the Force,
And
the
they use
nature.
that selfishly. Do you think that's what led to the creation of the Sith? It was just
I feel like it didn't get selfish until the Dark Jedi became involved with the Sith. Because until that time, they was living according to the nature of how, the laws of their planet dictated and mandated.
do you think the relationship between Sith and Jedi
Go ahead.
and the Force, do you think that is in relation to spirituality and how morality relates to that?
Deeply, honestly, deeply, because when we get into the philosophy of the Jedi, you know, I'm talking about, you feel me, the light force of the Jedi, not no dark Jedi, because dark Jedi,
Mm,
when you get into talking about dark Jedi in the modern Sith of the Republic era, they're very strongly Machiavellian. They are actively being players within the game of the universal game of karma within the universe,
mm,
and they have to pay big. The Jedi, on the other hand, live according to nature. You feel me? What is natural, what is needed to be done within the moment, respecting one's position within the force.
What is the universe wishes?
What is the universe wishes?
Mm.
You're asking some pretty. You feel me? I mean, what does the creator George Lucas want from them? You feel me? You feel me? What does the creator George Lucas want from them? And for any position, it can be something different. But I'm a firm believer that the universe is trying to teach us lessons, whether softly or not, but not to take it personally. You see, the Sith, they fall because they take it personally. You feel me?
Mhm.
They become very attached to the people that to the characters, or you feel me, to the characters or their position within the force. They
Mhm.
become very attached because of the trials and tribulations, and even their history. Even their history is can be their downfall. You know.
Okay. Uh,
Yeah.
Not totally unrelated topic, but just because I'm curious, who do you relate to more as far as a group? The Sith or the Jedi? Who tells your who most accurately represents your story?
Oh man, you see, when it comes down to the Jedi, but then again, we're all Anakin Skywalker in our own stories, ain't we?
Yeah.
And being self-aware, of that, because Anakin is just a lesson now.
He's a lesson for everybody.
It's a bad, because the crazy part about it is people would have still gave him the Republic anyway. He was loved by the people. He didn't have to take it.
Hmm.
Anakin, and that's what keeps on, you feel me, gnawing me. He was already the face of the Jedi. You feel me? He was a war hero. He all he had to do was continue to humble, but he couldn't humble himself. He was already on the Jedi Council. He just wasn't a master. He took it as an insult.
Okay. Do you think Anakin's fatal failing within his Force character, do you think it was hubris or impatience?
Both, but you want to hear the crazy thing is?
What?
The real crazy thing about Anakin when he came down to Darth Vader?
What?
I call Darth Vader the Lord of Restraint,
Really?
because he's still the chosen one, but he doesn't feel like he deserves it.
Mm.
He doesn't feel like he deserves it. There's so many times where Darth Vader as a character has been so close to death, but he continued to overcome only because he really didn't want to die. But he holds back his own position. He's holding back his own position within you see, underneath that shell or husk of Darth Vader is still Anakin Skywalker. A lot of people forget about that.
Right. They do. I forget about that sometimes, man.
you know, but Darth Vader ain't no hoe. Remember, the story is still about him. Even when it became about his son, it was about, you feel me, Darth Vader's redemption in the end.
Mm. Have you heard about Dark World Vader?
What the fuck is Darth World Vader?
It was if I'm not mistaken, it was like when it was in the comics when he went into the Dark World and he ended up like almost with a complete force body, and he ended up taking on all the other Jedi that, especially the ones that he had killed before, and he had to basically kill them all again. And it was apparently the most powerful he had ever been
Ah,
within the Force, for real.
wait. Did he still in this what you call it, hypothetical? Right. Did he have his? Was this a force? Was this a training for him to solidify him more within the dark side of the force?
Uh, I think it was a reconciliation between his past and who he was trying to become.
So you want me to be honest with you when I'm talking about Anakin right now? When I'm saying Anakin and not Darth Vader.
Right. This this was An- this was An- this was essentially Anakin trying to reconcile Darth Vader's past mistakes
Yeah.
with Anakin following his own path.
Personally, feel like he felt more bad about killing Padme than he did about killing the kids. Which is absolutely fucked up, because like he in the comics he's had so many times to prove, like I said, it proved, his position, within the dark side of the Force, but it's always dealing with the other Jedi that he had to overcome, him killing kids, him killing that Jedi battle master, defeating that Jedi battle master. But you never see him having to relive, you feel me, the position with when he force choked Padme.
Right. Okay. So, personal, you don't have to get too deep into it, but I just really want to know, have you ever had an Anakin moment, where, where you were trying, because we all know, we all know that him killing the kids was definitely wrong. It was the wrong move. I'm not gonna sit here and try and justify that. I made, uh, you're going to hear in the future me make a lot of unpopular opinions, but that is not one I'm going to defend today. That
Where do you draw the line on the morality concept? I was like, we're gonna keep
so yeah, I can't no, there's no justification for it. So we can definitely say that he made a mistake that day, but I will say that he thought he was making the right decision. So have you ever had a moment where you were like thought you were following the right path, but
Uh,
you made some bad decisions on the way?
I think we all have been Dark Vader one or two times before.
Right.
I think we've all been Dark Vader. And that's why Star Wars is such a good show, because it shows, like, even if you fall, because a lot of people don't know. I'm not sure if I can be heard, but Star Wars is a story of paradise lost. Anakin was in paradise, you feel me, and he fell, you feel me, he fell from his, higher position within the Force. But what is the Force? The universe, higher position within heaven? I don't know. And then he fell down to a lower sense of being, you feel me, into being Vader. Now, to fall from your higher and lower self, I mean, what does that, you feel me, what is that equivalent to you?
Mm, man, that's
That's
a
tough,
deep question for real. That's tough.
you know.
Uh, I like what you said earlier. We've all had Vader moments.
Yeah.
We all have that potential within us.
I think we all force choked Padme one or a few times within our life.
Oh man.
I love y'all.
Oh, God. So, back back on topic, per se. Who do you think made the better Sith Lord out of Maul and Vader?
You know what? And you know
Like
what?
just personal opinion, not really objectively, just
I mean,
personal
I
opinion.
want to give it to Maul because, like I said, the Lord of Perseverance versus the Lord of Restraint.
Mm,
Anakin Skywalker is a Kenpachi in his own fucking right. Oh my fucking god. And people are not making that connection. If Kenpachi is a title in Bleach of the one who will not fall, right?
right.
And and he restrains himself. So
Mm,
once I really started to understand, you feel me, what does it mean to be the chosen one, and how Vader is actually holding himself back in a lot of his fucking fights. It's like this dude, Darth Vader slash Anakin Skywalker, is a Kenpachi within his own right. Now you have Maul, who is a Lord of Perseverance. He was trained to overcome, you feel me, whatever situation. Seeing those two battle each other would have been great. But you know what is an even interesting fight now that I would want to see? Rock Lee versus Kenpachi Zaraki.
oh man, like
That's a crazy one right there, man.
nah, I'm sorry, I can't sponsor that, man. I'm sorry, and this is just my personal opinion. Nobody has to support it, but like it would be so one sided.
Yeah, on Kenpachi's part, right?
Exactly.
Wait, Kenpachi will fight Rock Lee?
Kampachi will buy me.
Whoa. I love Kampachi as much as the next guy. You feel me?
Okay.
I can't get enough of Kampachi Zaraki. You feel me? But Rocky,
We would okay on we would have to put them on equal standing because the the power difference.
I think Chakra can
Between
touch a Soul Reaper. I believe Chakra can touch a Soul Reaper. It's spirit power,
okay,
spiritual energy.
spiritual energy. Touching reapers.
Yeah,
Okay,
yeah, yeah.
but at that same
Touching
time,
Reapers is dope. It's a dope concept right there.
okay,
Touching Reapers.
admittedly, if your hands are so cold that they can punch out a death god, you deserve a title within yourself.
That's like how Sasuke could see Madara's limbos, but Naruto can feel them,
Right.
which is dope within itself. But and my brother said that. You feel me? Shout out to my bro. Um, but yeah, that's cold. That's cold.
That's cold. That's next level hands.
So
Now,
can a Houndora do any damage to a death god? If it's chakra, isn't
I thought uh
it? It's just air. It
I,
could
I
be.
thought it was just compressed air and sweat, right?
But I've seen physical elements, you feel me, affect Soul Reaper. So we ain't we're
Okay, yeah, you're right. There have been moments where stuff like that has happened.
I mean Chad was able to punch a fucking hollow within the first season of Bleach.
Was that not just a pure strength feat?
Then that means Rocket Lee could do it too.
I'll give you that one. I'll
Thank
give you
you.
that one.
Thank
Uh,
you.
but at the same time, the difference levels in power is still unreal. But you would have to scale them
Could
to
Kenpachi
each
even
other.
touch Rocket Lee?
As far okay, strictly speaking, technique wise, no, I do not think Kenpachi could touch Rock Lee. Uh, and this is just why I say that because basically Kenpachi's whole repertoire is slash and stab. Like,
You're right. You're
it's
right.
it's just pure slaughter. There is no artistry to it.
I'll give you this. I think Rock Lee will give Kenpachi a great run for his money, but at the end of the day, it's all it takes is one slash on Kenpachi. He doesn't even have to use no Shirashi while I'm fucking around. He doesn't even have to use Bunkai.
No, he's
But
not.
to see Bunkai Kenpachi Zaraki versus an 8 gate Rock Lee,
That will be a fight.
the story of the year. The story of the year. Now,
Uh,
good night.
Go ahead.
Now one thing I do want to see with characters who have the same temperament, you feel me? You see now in anime, they have these characters that have this very macho, you feel me, masculine demeanor, such as Kenpachi Zaraki, but also seeing Kenpachi Zaraki go against Ryoma Sukuna. Hold that. We don't have to talk about that. Just keep that in your mind. Let's go back to the main topic, which is Lord Vader, the Lord of Restraint, versus Darth Maul. What we just said, you're telling me Vader would beat Maul. I'll give it that. I cannot, as much as I love Maul, he couldn't beat his measuring stick. Obi-Wan was that measuring stick because Maul loved Palpatine.
Mm.
That's him, daddy.
Does that make Palpatine Yamamoto in that parallel?
Oh wow! Oh, wow! You said that. Or would it make him Baragon?
Mm.
I mean, okay, can we? Because even when it comes down to the difference within culture, um, Sith to Hollow, Soul Reaper to
Jedi.
Jedi. These are, you know, they share. You feel me? When it comes down to the contrast of yin and yang, it's you know you can see it easily in everything, and even when in one of the seven spiritual principles, polarity. You know, polarity. Everything creates poles of itself. You know, but what's -5 for you, even though I have less in my -5 to someone else, my -5 is even less than them. But when they see you, it becomes -10. You hear what I just said?
Yeah.
That's that polarity, and life is a bit of a polarity. It creates a spectrum.
I was going to say, by that relation, would that make
Go ahead.
since we're comparatively hollows to Sith and
Uh,
Soul Reapers to Jedi, like I was gonna say comparatively, does that make Anakin Coyote Stark? But
oh, that's dope. That
but
is dope.
I realized no, that would just make him Ichigo because
It is Ichigo because Ichigo, yeah,
yeah.
yeah. So let's talk about Ichigo being the one in his story because,
He is the one.
yeah,
He's the one. He was meant to be. That was predestined right there.
it was free. But now let's talk about this. So my boy Tidy Kubo,
Have you seen Thousand Year?
I know I've read it.
Okay, fair enough.
Now this is a conversation that no one wants to have and no one wants to touch on um is the concept samsara exists within a lot of because samsara is the hierarchy of the conscious worlds. How different conscious worlds, to in the Buddhist cosmology, create, you feel me, other conscious worlds that may exceed, you feel me, another world's understanding.
And Samsara is like one of the highest worlds, isn't it?
Samsara is the matrix of reality.
Okay,
So, you have the human world in Bleach. The
okay.
humans are, and these are actual positions, conscious positions within samsara. You have the human world, which is unaware of the other, you feel me, higher worlds that exist.
Mhm.
Then you have Hueco Mundo, which deals with the animal, which deals with the animals, which is
Mm.
depicted by, you feel me, every character in Hueco Mundo being an animal or a preta. You feel me? Preta is so Hueco Mundo shares both the
I
animal.
I am aware of what a predator is.
Yeah, this is the predators. That's why they're constantly feeding on
They're
each other in
they're of
Hueco
the
Mundo.
lower realm, aren't
They are of the lower realm. Now think about Hueco Mundo now. You have hollows that feed on other hollows who become Gillians. These Gillians, you feel me, then feed on other Gillians, you become a hooches. It's the same what's the word I want to use, relationship when it comes down to the hungry ghosts, the animals, and the predators.
you? I've never really put it together, but I totally see how it reeks of Buddhist overtones,
Oh yeah, but
and I love it.
yeah,
I love it.
yeah, you're a Buddhist man.
I practice a little bit of Buddhism. I study it. You know what I'm saying? It was one of I study many religions and because I believe it's all one truth. So
Uh,
you have to find the truth in everything. And I believe that no society by itself holds that truth, the whole thing. So you need to piece it all together. Kind of like what Iroh said in the Avatar, when he was talking to who was it?
he was talking to Katara when he was talking about or was he talking to Toph?
I think he might have been talking to Toph.
No, he was talking to Zuko because he was teaching him how to.
He was talking to Zuko, and he was saying that all the disciplines, all the bending disciplines, uh, are really part of one truth, and if you separate them, they become rigid and stale. So you have to take elements from all of them to really find the whole.
Yeah. So, but we see, so that means you understand the concept of samsara that, and this is why it's the matrix of reality because so samsara is this interesting concept. It gets into the matrix of even, of reality and how your reality is, based on your understanding, but limited by your ignorance. Therefore, if you stay at a certain base level of understanding, you can only experience reality to that level. But when you expand your level of conscious awareness, um, when you expand your level of conscious awareness, you are able to experience, life in a reality at a higher level, but you're still always going to be limited by your ignorance. Now, one thing I like about Jujutsu Kaisen is that,
Hmm.
Sukuna is a necessary force for people to constantly overcome, you feel me, overcome themselves. That's why he exists.
He is ignorance.
But Toji is also ignorance. You see, even though Toji didn't possess Ryomen Sukuna, and this is how meta conscious Jujutsu Kaisen is, because in the damn it, I really am talking about this right now, and I really didn't want to. Um, Toji was prepping Gojo, who is the one within his universe, for Ryomu Sukuna.
Mm.
You know,
So he was inadvertently training the one.
he was inadvertently training the one, because what level of round of samsara does Toji represent?
I would definitely say the human realm.
You know, my man, yeah, no, facts, facts.
He's he's the top of it. He's the top of it,
He,
but he's essentially the best the human realm can offer.
but but note this, and he's also Sith within his application of his lessons, because remember, he's a regular human. He cannot see cursed spirits, neither does he have a cursed technique. Therefore, he's defined by, and cursed spirits in Jujutsu Kaisen are represented as traumas,
Mm.
and traumas are also represented as lessons when it comes down to the interpreting chakras and stuff. The heart chakra means Ananda. Ananda means unbothered. Is connected to both love, you feel me, and trauma.
Right.
You know.
The other side of that.
Yeah, yeah, it's very interesting.
That being said, do you think, in a manner of speaking, that curses are a necessary force in the world of Jujutsu Kaisen?
But that's the whole point on what Ghetto was trying to do. Ghetto was trying to, and Ghetto and Pain, Pain.
Oh, God.
I said enough, right?
All right there.
But you see, the thing is with Pain and Ghetto is they represent the concept of the Buddha, the characters that represent other characters to be familiar with. But they are more where a Buddha will allow things to naturally unfold. Pain was looking towards, to do it, to force people, and if you're trying to force people to get better, you're doing, you're still trying to control them. You want people to want to, you feel me, get better and overcome. We want people to learn, because if you force someone to do something, you're only becoming part of the problem.
Mm.
Same thing with Ghetto. He was trying to force people. He was
To evolve.
he was trying to force people to learn how to use their cursed energy.
Mm.
To be able to, people who are jujutsu sorcerers, they have cursed techniques. A cursed technique is what they use to cope. It's what they use to cope with the trauma, to cope and overcome cursed spirits.
That's deep. That's deep.
Yeah, yeah. But we're getting off a topic.
A little bit,
Yeah, because that's a conversation I want to have for another day in depth.
definitely.
But we're still on, what you call it?
Still on Star Wars.
No, we moved past Star Wars. We're actually on Bleach, and
Okay.
some sorrow within Bleach, and
Well, I mean, I still like how you related the Sith to the Hollows
yeah,
and Pretas.
yeah,
You know,
yeah. Thank you.
that being said, do you think that curses are forms of Pretas?
This motherfucker brought me back to the topic.
I mean, saying,
Um, no, this is interesting. Because there's a lot of Buddhistic. I mean, Gojo. Okay, you feel me?
we know has Buddhist overtones.
Yeah, a lot, a lot. You feel me? Gojo is inverting, if is inverting, is untraditionally a Buddha, and his best friend is actually a fucking Buddha. Is actually a Buddha. Curse manipulation. Or yes, I that's kind of complicated because there's another realm. There's another realm called Asura. And before you get to the position of Buddha, you feel me? You have to overcome the Asura. Asura can be considered as the devils, you feel me? The
Mhm.
devils, or people who have strong egos. Now, one of the things in the culture of mysticism that ties that concept.
Ooh. let me calm on down. Well, hold on, man. Man, I'm not gonna interrupt you.
I'll give him. Go ahead.
Oh man. So that being said,
Mhm.
so are you saying that the Asuras in Bleach would be Quincy's?
No, now Bleach has a different argument and a different argument being made by Tite Kubo that is just amazing. Oh wow. So and we're gonna put a pin in the Jujutsu Kaisen because I really do want to talk about this because that's what I want to get on, motherfucker.
Separately. I want to get on it.
Yeah,
We'll
yeah.
talk about it separately.
Yeah, so now when it comes down to Bleach, Tite Kubo's a master and he's a genius when it comes down to writing and, getting his point of view of spirituality across because at first he gave us the lower world and the higher world, right? In the higher world, which is the Preta. Now the Pretas aren't bad, you feel me? They're foundational. You feel me? The lower isn't bad. A lot of people think when you're talking primal, you feel me, it's lower. No, it's foundational
People
because
consider when you talk about a lower realm, they typically think you mean less than.
But yeah, exactly. But it's not that it's less than, because they are trying to survive. They're trying to survive. They're trying to overcome. They are trying to evolve. The Ronkars were trying to be better. That's what there was, because think about it, they go from animals into something that is almost imitating a
Human.
Soul Reaper. A
Yeah.
human Soul Reaper, you feel me? These certain terms and terminologies are relative.
Relative.
They're trying to get to that higher level, and it's even though I believe the wrong car are supposed to be sympathetic villains, and they are because Aizen was only using them. Okay, and what happened when the Soul Reapers came? You feel me? These animals, these beasts, these primitives were completely wiped out by them and used. You feel me? They can be a problem if they can be a problem, but that's why the Soul Reapers try to control how their evolution is progressed. Because, like Son Goku, the real Son Goku from Journey of the West, ooh, he was animal as fuck, and we know about Son Goku. We know about Son Goku. We know about Wukong. Rags and riches. Now, when it comes down to the Soul Reapers and the Quincy's, Tite Kubo has a different argument what's going on. This gets into the different conceptions of how the Eastern how the Eastern views the conception of God and how the Westerners view their own conception, you feel me, of God. It's two halves of the same whole because the Western society believes in, the God or the Yah, you feel me, Yah, Yuha Brah, whatever his name is, you feel me, which is all powerful creator, I control everything, the Almighty.
Facts.
We're opposed to the Bleach, you have the Soul King who begets. He begets his power on two. He begets his power onto all his different parts, but he still allows the story to play out the way it should.
That's that enlightened Buddha.
You see, Yuha defeated himself. And the reason why, because he made the story about Ichigo. Once he became one with the Soul King, you see the Soul King, and a lot of people don't know the Soul King is the collective. So therefore, when we're all watching Bleach, you're the Soul King. Because you're the only one who can watch the story play out, but not do anything. But
oh man, hey, that's such a hot take right there. Oh my goodness, the Soul King is representative of you. That's wild.
You're the Soul King.
I get that though.
The Squad Zero is protecting us. It's trying to protect the story to keep it going on because we love Bleach. You feel me? And that's why I love Tite Kubo because he really appreciates his fans in this way. Is this intended? It's too genius for it not to be intended. But who is the Soul King putting his attention on? You feel me? It's Ichigo. You feel me? Ichigo was another candidate to become the Soul King. You feel me? It was become another candidate to become the Soul King. Now you have Juha Bronx, you feel me, who wants to be in control of everything. He's supposed to be the son of the Soul King, A, B, C, D. That's narrative wise. Narrative wise. That's not meta. That's just all narrative. But he stills our power as of, you feel me? He stills. You feel me? He's trying to become the, you feel me? He wants the story to be about him. You feel me? And in doing so, you feel me? In doing so, he's projecting all his attention onto Ichigo. Ichigo. Juha Brox and Aizen did the same thing. They did the same exact thing.
I agree with that.
They did the same because
I agree with that.
Aizen theoretically created
Ichigo.
Ichigo through the Hoge school unconsciously. Well, it was unconscious, right?
Right. But he meant to do it, right?
He met.
It's for that, right? That was all part of his plan.
He unconsciously did it, but meant to do it at the same fucking time because he wanted to create something that can transcend or be able to hold both the power of Quincy, not Quincy, a Soul Reaper and a Hollow, and then he created Ichigo as that, and Ichigo was still able to defeat and overcome Aizen, which is crazy. Aizen defeated his fucking self. So Aizen really helped Ichigo set up to defeat Yuha.
Mm.
And he did. He really did. Because even, did you read the manga?
Yes, of course.
Oh, I mean, I know you was in that culture. Excuse me.
Of course.
Excuse me.
Had to.
Yeah. And by the way, you feel me? It's about time to bring the cast to a close.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah. But yeah, Yuha, you feel me? Like by beginning, and I'm gotta rewatch some parts of it because I'm pretty sure a part of the message being said was that, by him taking the position of the Soul King, he defeated himself.
Mm.
By him taking the collective's position. You feel me? Because we was good the way we are. Yes, sir.
That was a really hot take right there.
I appreciate it, my bro. I appreciate it.
So, how you want to take this out? You need to sign off or something like that? Because I feel like we need to sign off.
I'm not good. I'm not good with goodbyes.
You heard it first on the Anime Podcast.
Yeah. You know what it is. You know what it does.
Yeah.
It's your boy Pharaoh with
Lord Panda.
Lord Panda. Lord Panda. Yes. Panda is just a fucking panda.
Thanks.
In fact. All right, my boy. Till
All right,
next
man.
time.